Hello and welcome to another MathCat session where we're going to talk about grade 10 math, exploring linear functions a little bit further. We're going to use IXL to generate some examples for us to help our discussion. Feel free to explore that or any other platform or textbook that you want or have. But it is important to practice much more than what we're going to do here. I'm going to look at, I think it was 16, 17 here. Standard form of a linear equation. And I'm going to expand on this in a second. But right now, let's just warm up with here is our linear equation. Let's just find the x and the y intercepts. So for the x-intercepts, we set y equal to 0 and solve for x. Let's do that. I know we'll do the y-intercept soon. So we have to solve 9x minus 0 equals 9. And hopefully at this stage, you can very easily see x is 1. For the y-intercept, we're going to set x to 0 and solve for y. So when we do that, whoopsie, what was that? What was that? When we do that, we have to solve the equation 9 times 0. Now, you can simplify that right away, but I'm emphasizing that I'm plugging in 0 for x. That whole term goes away, and I see that y is negative 9. So let's just warm up there and put that in. They're only asking for the y-intercept, so we'll put in a negative 9. But I did the x-intercept as well, just to not have to do that many. We'll do this one, sure. We have to simplify our answer, remember. So x-intercept is what they are asking. Let's just do that one to speed up a little bit. We are setting, well, think of the graph. If you're not sure, don't want to blindly memorize this, right? That's x and that's y. I'm not graphing right now, but I'm visualizing what is happening on a graph, and that helps me personally to remember, how do I find a y-intercept? Well, I think, okay, x-intercept. X-intercept is where they cross over there, right? That has some x coordinate and a 0 y coordinate, which means I have to set y equal to 0. And then I get 5x plus 4 times the 0 value that I plugged in. Well, that's just 0. So I get x equal to 2. And so the graph helps me remember, well, which is which? What do I do? Well, it's all in the graph. If I understand what the x-intercept and the y-intercept are visually on the graph, then I can easily figure out which one to set to 0 to solve. X-intercept is at 2. All right, beautiful. Now we can keep going like this. I'll leave this one to you to try on your own. Let me know in the comments what you think the answer is for this x-intercept. But we are going to move on to some graphing. So that was 16. We'll do 17 here. And I'm probably going to expand a little bit on that as we get comfortable with these examples. So now our goal is to take this general linear equation and graph it. Well, one strategy is to find and use the intercepts. Because really what I need is just 2 points, and that specifies a straight line. Exactly right. So I just need to find 2 points. Well, the easiest points arguably are the intercepts. So let's find the x-intercept over here x-intercept. That means I set y to 0, and then I get y0, I get x equal to 6. So this time I've leveled up a little bit. I set my y equal to 0. That whole term is 0, so I don't need to write it. You are welcome to write it and then simplify your equation. But I do want to get used to doing little things on the go. So my x-intercept sits over here. That's a point on the graph. Y-intercept. Now I set x equal to 0. And then I get the equation to solve is negative 3y equals 6. I set x equal to 0. That means that whole thing is gone, that whole term. And so y is negative 2 because I divide both sides by negative 3. So my other point therefore sits over there. Now I have 2 points, and that uniquely specifies the line. Click on one, click on the other, boom, there is my line. So that is certainly one way to graph a more general looking linear equation, because all I need are 2 points. All I need are 2 points. There are other options, like if we had this in the form y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form, which you can very easily do by taking this. So let's convert that as well. That's good practice. I have this equation right now. I need to just solve for y. That's all I need to do to get in this slope-intercept form. So I'm going to do that systematically. I'm going to subtract x on both sides. I'm actually not going to write that. By now, you should be able to do that in your head. I get negative 3. I'm going to write it over here first because that's what the slope-intercept form wants. So I subtracted x on both sides. Now I have to divide the whole thing by negative 3 or multiply by negative 1/3. Maybe we can write that over here. Multiply by negative 1/3. Then I get just the y. All the terms need to be multiplied. Then I multiply negative 1/3 by negative 1. I get 1/3 x, as well as negative 2 or minus 2. So there is my slope-intercept form. Now, why did I do that? Because the slope-intercept form gives me very clear information about this linear function, about this line, much more than the standard or general form does. This guy, this m, is the slope. That b is my y-intercept. So I get information right away, and I see, ooh, negative 2. Yeah, that was right there. I didn't actually need to do all this if I had it in in slope-intercept form. I can just read off. It's right there, negative 2. Not sure why my mouth isn't moving. I'm very static today. Little glitch, but hey, I'm still here. The slope, how do I interpret the slope? Well, remember, the slope m is the change in y over the change in x. So that is a 1:3 ratio. So let's suppose I didn't have this point over here. What I could do is, instead of finding the x-intercept algebraically by solving that equation, I know it wasn't super difficult, but sometimes it might be a little bit more of a hassle. I can use the slope to go from my y-intercept at negative 2 to find another point. it says if I move, I like to go X first because I like to move horizontal, but you really don't have to. I'll do both. If you go 3 horizontally, 3 units horizontally, you have to go 1 unit vertically to be back on the line. And they're both positive. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 unit vertically, and that is another point on the line. And I can just connect those 2 points, and boom, I'm done. We can also do Y first. We can say, well, if I go 1 vertically, then I have to go 1, 2, 3 horizontally. You can, what I like to do personally is I like to go close to the x-axis. I try and get close to this point. I'm not always going to get it perfectly. So as long as I act in or move in a 1 to 3 ratio, I can say, okay, well, if I take 2 steps vertically, I have to take 6 steps horizontally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that'll give me my x-intercept. Now, this isn't always possible because it's not going to be as clean always, but I want to get close to the x-intercept. But really, I can also use the slope to get another point. So this definitely does take a lot more practice. So don't take this for granted. If this was weird, I have different options. Which one do I choose? Really, whichever one you want. We want to know, we have our graph. Let's just submit it here. We have to scroll down a little bit. Super. And let's just look at this one. I'm going to practice that slope-intercept form. So we can write this equation as y equals 3x minus 9. Why? How? How did I do that? Well, make sure you have sufficient algebra and working with equation experience before you get to these, right? One thing I did was subtract 3x on both sides. Then I get this version. And then I multiplied the whole thing by -1 to get the slope-intercept form. So if that seems super difficult for you, you have to go back to equations a little bit. You're maybe not ready for this. We're all building it up slowly. But now I see, oh, -9 is my intercept. -9 is way down here. Why? Why did you do that? Now my stuff is all messed up. Okay, there we go. -9. -9. It's over here. All right. I can use my slope. So slope m is 3 or 3 over 1. Now I do want to see it as a fraction because it's change in y over change in x. Let's do it like this. Change in y over change in x. Now it has a 3 to 1 ratio. So I can go 1, 2, 3 vertically, then I have to go 1 horizontally because they're both positive. So 3 in the positive direction up, 1 in the positive direction over, and I can certainly pick my point right there, boom, and there's my line. I could also try, personally, I'd like to try and get close to the axis, the x-axis. So I want to go 1 group of 3 vertically, another, maybe let's make that a different line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll do one more, maybe this way. 1, 2, 3. That was 3 groups of 3. So I moved 9 units up. Multiply that by 3. I have to multiply that by 3. So I have to move 3 units over. And you see, that's also a point on the line. So I have a lot of flexibility. Yes, you can totally do the basic first strategy of finding the intercepts, but using the slope, using the information from the function, I think this gives you a much better platform to build on and a much deeper insight into how these functions work and what certain versions, like the slope intercept form, tell me about the function. I do not want to avoid this. Yes, you have the backup of the intercepts, but it doesn't really take me further in a convenient way. Whereas this, I start to think in the right way. I start to think about interpreting the numbers that I see. Well, maybe not that, but rather that. The numbers I see in my function. It's not always possible. I can't look at this top one in the general form, or they call it the standard form. Those numbers don't always mean anything, but in certain versions, they do. So I want to build up to a place where I can build on this with more difficult functions. Let's submit that. Excellent. So I will leave this one for you. There is a function. You can do the exact same thing. Practice all the different ways. Use the intercepts to make your graph. Rewrite this to slope intercept form. Very important. And use the slope and from the y-intercept to get the graph. Practice, practice, practice. That is the key. We will end the discussion there for now. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, concerns, positive or negative criticism. Anything goes. Until next time.
Welcome to MathCats, where we aim to better understand mathematics. Join us weekly for discussions on elementary, high school, through to university math. You can request the next topic by leaving a comment on our YouTube channel or by emailing us at mathcats314@gmail.com. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.